All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm always for life, nigga, this a blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara, here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, send a curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a death sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind field. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pill, but ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times, then it's death do us part. No. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go this zone. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it, raise it. I pity those watching life as it go by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In pump smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's all I don't. Either fold or salute, my nigga. Salute, my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. Now I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go this zone. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah, yeah.
We bout to bombard their whole operation. Certified priest, prophesying this my occupation. This shit outrageous, they done made the truth docile. That's why we on the corner crying aloud, looking hostile. It's UPK style, can't stop now. Far this warfare couldn't last one round. Let the oppressed rise, and let the rich mourn till the sundown. Enough with this shit, about to make it hot, call it compound. Just for my niggas, put the guns in the drugs down. Dwelling in peace till the Lord called for the blood hounds. Try to decide my death and got beside yourself. Swore draw for what you perform. How you gon' hide yourself? Devil's got to die for his lies and his dreams. Ain't got no love for them crackers. Nah, just cruel intentions. And then my father's house is spinning mansions. I got plenty bitches. Worthy of vengeance, this your death sentence. I'm talking to you. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. That they do not rise. Go in and feel the world with eyes. Ain't die for your skin, you gon' die for your crime. I'm talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil's done the end this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. Now they shook from vicious words out this handed book. Bound to take these rappers back to school. My flow standing hook. They crossed the line, ain't no coming back. You became no cowards. The only thing sweet is the honey check. Righteous is the Lord. Give me rest from my sorrow. And hand down death for them devils. There's no tomorrow. Why? Cause they violence leave a man a stiff corpse. You see a flag in a bench, I see horns in a pitchfork. Go ahead. So she please as I squeeze on the double D's. Fuck you mean? I'm talking to you. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, slaughter. That they do not rise and fill the world with lies. And die for your skin, you gon' die for your crime. That's why I'm talking to you. So war for your life. Your life try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil's done the end this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah.
The police just shot him for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black on. I can't really do shit because they got me handcuffed. I can't believe they just did this. I'm fucking back!
Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, slaughter. That they do not rise and fill the world with lies and die for your skin. You gon' die for your crime. That's why I'm talking to you. So war for your life. Your life try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil's done the end this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. First breath I took, a life too surreal. Second breath I took was the pivot and strike, finish the kill. Influenced by might, with every sentence reveal. I won't pay back, fuck the dollar bill. Remain calm as the pressure build. Gotta endure until I let this pump whistle at my foes in memory of Emmett Till. I only live to do my master's will. And shoot BK, motherfucker. Ain't no cowards on this battlefield. Gone astray but made greater. In my return, left to my mistakes. Every error was a lesson learned. Now I don't move, let's it get approved. Won't take a step till it get confirmed. Armed and tape, it was made for our sakes. March like a tank, one step will make the ground shake. My people sick in their head, Lord, let this truth spread like an outbreak and bring hell at them crackers can't escape. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I want payback for the scars in the slave memoirs. Till Christ arrive, I can't let it slide. Ignore the lies. The only free will that's before your eyes is life or death, nigga, you decide. This heaven was made for me and my fellow. I patiently wait with my eyes on the sparrow, and I pull the trigger while my lips kiss the barrel. Before I ever let a white bitch do me like Othello. I want out this wicked life like Romello. By any means, this devil pulling strings like Geppetto. Lay hold on this brotherhood, I swear I never let go. And fuck that silver spoon, got too much love for the ghetto. Till the score settle, if need be, I die for the cause. Just to hear them angels applaud. And I'm true by every word I say. Cause I know my victory on the way. You want it? Nigga, walk this way. This life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my thing go hard, and I won't give up. And could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so tough? Cause it's real, I be walking with them angels, boy. This life may be it straight. I told you I can't be touched. Only angels walk at my pace. And I'm grateful for the words that had me delivered. I'm hungry for the glory, but I ain't eating till I feed my next. One West, what I die for. Attire out the book of numbers, this rifle from the Archangel Michael. My niggas rebels, you can't deny them. It's 144, I be running to and fro with the Allah higher. My UPK soldiers ain't no folding or pretending. We in it for them crowns, fuck friends, we want dominion. In the election ascension, I hope I make it through. Give a damn what a bitch think, as long as my niggas know I'm true. Betray your kind to get success. You make it through the eye of the needle, nigga. I be
Life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my dick go hard, and I won't give up. And could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so tough? It's real, I be walking with them angels, boy. Life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my dick go hard, and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so tough? It's real, I be walking with them angels, boy. I can't be touched.
Let's see here. Are we good to go? Go ahead, clap it up. Man, it's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. It's Precinct Officer 1,000 Yard Mark. Right, rocking it out in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Hold on 1 second. Get this off. Stop sharing that. All right, this is the Wednesday night law class, right? So we're going to get into, of course, this class is generally teaching the law of the Bible, which the Christian church teaches is done away with. However, we all know that when you study the Bible, even just a little bit, that the law of the Bible is not done away with. You understand? What Christ taught on this earth was the law and the statutes and commandments so that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians wouldn't be in the condition that we're in today. But the fact of the matter is that because we allowed religious leaders and we allowed Christian pastors and we allowed our elderlies and our family and our households to teach us, you understand, the Christian dogma, which is that Christ died and the law died with him. That is the reason why we are in the condition that we're in today. You understand? That is the reason why our brothers is afflicted of drugs. You understand? We afflicted of whoredom. We live in a life, black on black crime, murdering each other. We live in this life that we live in because our Christian leaders have failed us as a nation of people, man. They failed us as leaders by telling us that God loves everybody and God loves the sin and the sinner when that is not in the Bible. You understand? So before we begin, I'll take questions. If you got any questions online, type it in the chat. If you got questions in the room, raise your hand. It's a lot of little Christ, yo, man. Trey, what's going on? I'll get a chat a second. Type in the questions. Any question. It could be on topic, off topic. Just type your question in the chat. I know sweating. Somebody give me Matthew 5:17. Oh, somebody else turn that, whatever that is, off in the back. All right. Someone give me Matthew 5:17. Read it whenever you get it. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I have come to destroy the law.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law. You understand? What does that mean? What does that mean? What is this talking about? Mm-hmm.
That is Christ didn't come to put away the law.
First, who's speaking here?
Slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Christ.
So this is Christ himself speaking. And Christ said, think not that I am come to destroy the law. Right? Why is he saying this?
Slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Because people then they didn't they thought the law was put away.
Why?
Because
you got to understand what was happening during this time so you can understand why Christ was saying this. Right? Why were they teaching this? Anyone online? Why did Christ have to say this? Come on.
Christ said this because the Christian church always like to say that, you know, we're under grace and that we don't have to follow the laws, and or, you know, the Old Testament, you know, isn't alive, and all these little sayings they say, but Christ already said right here that he didn't come to destroy like what Moses taught, stuff like that.
Well, see, you have to. This was before the Christian church, right? Of course, the Sadducees and Pharisees today is what the Christian church has molded itself to be as our religious leaders. But however, this during the time of Christ, Christ is saying it, right? Christ is living, breathing in the flesh. Now he is saying that the law is not done away with. But why? First of all, who is Christ? Christ was what? The Messiah, right? He was the one that was prophesied in the Old Testament to come and redeem us, right? To bring us back to the Lord, to save us, to bring salvation unto the nation of Israel, right? So we know this as the Jews, right? We know of this Messiah that is coming, but yet they still believed that the law was done away with. They still believed that Christ came and the law was going to be done away with. Why? Okay, let's forgive me. 2 Corinthians 3 and 6. Paul spoke about this.
3 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament.
Who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament. Keep going.
Not of the letter.
Not of the letter. What is the letter? Come on.
The law.
And where?
In the Old Testament.
The Old Testament. So now here's this battle. Here is this debate of the Old Testament and the New Testament. Right? Now now this is what they would say the problem with the Old Testament is, right? Which is why when they heard of a Messiah coming to save us, they thought that meant everything that was in the Old Testament was done away with, meaning the laws. But I'm trying to give it to you without giving it. I could, I don't want to give you the answer, right? So just keep reading.
But of the Spirit.
Mm-hmm. So not of the letter, but of the Spirit. These are the two. The Old Testament is the letter, and Christ is the Spirit, right? So now we're not following the letter, right? We're ministering unto the Spirit of Christ. Now, this is where Christians get mixed up. Christians take this and they say what? What do Christians take this scripture and then teach? Come on. Mm-hmm.
The Holy Spirit. Or the Holy Ghost.
What about the Holy Spirit? What about it are they teaching as it pertains to the letter of the law in the Old Testament, what the prophets taught, right? Joshua, Moses, right? What they taught, as opposed to the Spirit, the order of Melchizedek, Christ, Yahweh Shah Mashiach in the Hebrew, what he taught. Did they teach something different? What did they teach that was different?
You're talking about the Christian church, right?
Mm-mm.
when Paul said, when he made a difference between not of the letter, but of the spirit, was it something different in the content of what's being taught? Is the content of the letter and the content of the spirit different? Is it? Go ahead, explain.
Well, I would say, I would say that you can live by the letter by, doing the things outwardly, but if it's not more of a inward thing, a spiritual thing, then it's.
So let me ask you a question. When the Bible says, "Thou shalt not murder," right, or "Thou shalt not kill," was that written in the Old Testament or the New?
The Old and the New.
It was written in the New. Where? Where was the law of jealousy written? Mm-hmm. I also want the law of jealousy. Anybody who's listening online can also answer these questions. Again, for everyone that's tuning in, if you have a question, somebody pass me that the little red hands right there. I forgot to set the Instagram up. Salagi online, if you could bear with me 1 second. I forgot to set up a live. It's been about 15 seconds. Shouldn't take that long. Come on.
It's a book of Romans 13 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
For this, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not kill.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not covet.
Mm-hmm.
And if there be any other commandment,
Mm-hmm.
it is briefly comprehended in this saying,
Mm-hmm.
namely,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Mm-hmm. And so what was Paul saying?
It's like it, sir.
Mm-hmm. He was mentioning all of those things. Why?
Because they thought that the law was done away with, but it's still more relevant. It's like relevant.
Yeah, it is relevant and it's still in order, right? Thou shalt not kill. Now, where was "thou shalt not kill" first written?
It's like it, sir.
Mm-hmm.
In the Old Testament.
In the Old Testament, meaning it was in the letter, right? And so now my question was, is the letter and the spirit, the content of the letter and the spirit, is it any different? No, there is no difference in what is taught in the spirit or what is taught of the letter, because what Christ taught is the same thing that Moses taught. They taught the same thing. There is no difference. What Christ gave is the spirit of the law that was given to us before Christ got here, right? Keep reading 2 Corinthians. Read that one more time.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament,
Mm-hmm.
not of the letter,
Mm-hmm.
but of the spirit.
So not of the letter anymore, right? Christ came and he died, and he is giving us the difference between the letter and the spirit, right? Keep going.
For the letter killeth.
For the letter killeth, right? The reason why they thought that when Christ came, that it was to do away with the law was because the law bringeth death. You've heard that before. The law bringeth death. And so when they thought that Christians think that the Messiah comes, and of course, if the law bringeth death, what does the Messiah bring when he brings salvation? What does Christ come with?
Death?
No.
Oh, so life.
Christ comes with life. And so in Christian minds, they see what? If the law bringeth death and Christ bringeth life, then obviously Christ is doing away with the law. That's not true. That's not true. That's not what this is saying. That's not what Christ said at all. We're going to read it, right? Finish. Was that it on 6?
Okay. What? But the Spirit giveth life.
But the Spirit giveth life, right? Which was Christ, right? But of the Spirit, for the letter killeth, but the Spirit giveth life, right? Now go back to Matthew. And then also someone pull Romans 7 and 6. Let me see something.
Romans 7 and 6.
Brother online said facts, most high Christ. Read Matthew 5 and 17.
Book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I come to destroy the law.
So now this is Christ speaking on the matter, right? Because the whole world, your Christian pastor teaches that the law brought death. And because the law brought death, and who understands why they teach that the law brought death? Who understands that? Who could break that down? Why did the law bring death?
In the Old Testament, if you broke the law, you were put to death.
So I need a little bit more. It's a small point that you got to understand. You got to think about how people think. You have to think about how people act, how they behave themselves. Why does a law bring death? Come on.
You think about so more modern terms, somebody break the law, you get killed.
Which means what? You're on it.
That breaking the law brought death.
Which means that you're a what?
Lawbreaker.
Another word. Come on.
Unrighteous.
No. Just think to keep it simple.
Okay.
You're a what? You're a criminal. You believe that the law bringeth death because you're a criminal. You're a drug addict. That's why the law brings death for you. You're a rainbow. That's why the law bringeth death to you. You understand? You rape children. You are a child molester. You're a pedophile. You're a whoremonger. You're a murderer. That's what you do. You're a drug dealer. So in your mind, the law bringeth death. How does the law bring death if you don't break the law? The law can't bring death. Okay. If you don't break the law, then there is no Levitical priest at your door ready to stone you. If you don't commit adultery, then you're not getting stoned by the priest. But because you're a sinner, you believe that the law bringeth death, right? Now, this was a problem that we was having in the nation of Israel because we weren't following these laws for our people to be saved. We was following these laws. Why? Come on. Because we didn't want to die. We didn't want to die, so we would follow these laws. So Christ had to come and he had to die. He had to die so that we could understand that we had to do what? That we had to follow these laws. Because following the laws does what? Come on. It gives us life. Right. What Christ taught. Yeah, give him a hand. That's right. Yeah. You got it. Following what Christ taught, the difference of the letter and the spirit is that by following the letter is what gives you life. Right. It's what keeps you alive. Committing adultery gets you killed. You understand? Raping children gets you murdered. That's what happens. In case you didn't understand, in case that was too far-fetched. You rape a child, you die. You understand? You smoke cigarettes on a cigarette pack. I need to keep an empty cigarette packet in here so that every time we bring up cigarettes, we can read where it says it causes cancer. You decide to smoke the cigarettes, you will die. That's what happens. But if you just followed the laws, if you follow what God told us to do, then you wouldn't die these ways. If you follow that sex was marriage, if you follow that you cannot sleep with another man's wife, if you follow that we cannot eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, celebrate our oppressors' holidays, you understand? Sell drugs to all people, sell drugs to anybody. And we follow those simple, basic laws. Then think about all of the stereotypes that for black people today here in America that would be eradicated off the earth. If we knew that we couldn't be drug dealers because that was against God, we knew that we couldn't sleep with another man's wife, and we knew that sex was marriage, then black people aren't pimps anymore. Black women aren't whores anymore. We're not drug dealers. We're not gangbangers, and we're not murdering each other. But because we believe in the Christian church, we believe that the laws that they try to confound us to, it's just too hard, because that bringeth death. If you give me if you put a law in America that says I have to wear a seatbelt, it's, oh man, the government, the man is out to get us. Every time you get a ticket and you got to pay $250, you think the government is too rough on you because he put a law in place that states before you bring a newborn child home from the hospital, you have to now have a car seat. And your brain, that is a what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? With something that's just you doing something and it just messes up your day. Like it's a what? You thinking way too hard on it. It's a simple word. It's a I'm mad I can't get this word right now. Think of something that's taking you out of your way. Interference or something like that, man. I can't think of the word. It's going to hit me about 30 seconds and I'm going to come back and say it, right? But you think that that's a hindrance on your life. You think that that is just too much, that you have to have a car seat inside of the car to take a newborn baby home. Until when? Until you get in a car accident and your newborn baby flies out the window and dies. Now you understand what? Now you understand the spirit of why they forced you to wear a car, to have a baby in a car seat. Well, Christ is that baby in that car seat, or without the car seat. Christ is the baby that you decided to take home from a hospital, and then when you got in a car accident, that baby flew out. And then now that baby is dead, now that Christ died for us, now you realize the spirit behind why we should not eat pork. Now you see the spirit behind why we should not commit adultery, why we should not celebrate America's holidays, why we should not sleep with another man's wife. Now you understand it because Christ was a man who taught and followed all of these laws. And he was born just like me and you. He was poor just like me and you. But yet he grew up and he followed these laws perfectly and taught them. And then he died unrightfully. And so now we have a debt unto him. And that is the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. Someone read Romans 7 and 6. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 6. But now we are delivered from the law.
So now we are delivered from the law. Remember, this is Paul again. Paul already said in Romans chapter 2 and 3, verse 6, who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament, not the letter, but of the spirit, for the letter killeth, but the spirit giveth life. And now in Romans, he's saying what? Read it one more time.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are delivered from the law.
But now we are delivered from the law. What does that mean? Mm-hmm.
Death?
Yes, but how? Come on.
Punishment?
Yes. Think a little bit more spiritual though. We're delivered from the law, meaning what? Now you don't have the binds of death holding you to this law. You today, a woman can go have sex with whatever she wants. A woman can go have sex with a dog if she wants to, and they do it. And she doesn't have in the back of her mind that if I have sex with a dog, or if I step out on my husband, or if I don't consider sex marriage, she doesn't think in the back of her mind, I'm going to get stoned to death. I'm going to get exiled from my people because I'm breaking this law. She believes that she has a what? She has a choice. She believes she has the right of free will, that she could do whatever she wants to do. But she is delivered from that law. You understand? She can go do whatever she wants to do. Right? Keep reading.
That being dead, wherein we were held.
That being dead, wherein we were held, meaning those were the binds that held us. Those were the bounds that kept us from breaking the law. But now those bounds are lifted up. The Levitical priests are no longer here, and we are not kept by those binds of keeping the law. So now, read.
That we should serve in newness of spirit.
That we should what?
Serve in newness of spirit.
One more time.
That we should serve in newness of spirit.
That we should serve in newness of spirit. What does that mean? To serve in newness of spirit. A nuisance, young man. I think that might have been what I was looking for. A nuisance. It's a nuisance, or it was something, man. I'm mad that I couldn't think of that word because it's so simple. It's a word you use every day. Like it's like hindrance, or like that's gonna be a inconvenience. That's the word I'm thinking of. It's an inconvenience that you have to put your child in a car seat when you take them out the hospital and they're 3 days old. To us, it's an inconvenience until your child dies. Now you understand why that inconvenience is there, right? And that was Christ to us. Christ dying for us was it was the reason why we understood, why we had to learn and understand why these laws was here. Come on.
That's a lot, that's actually what I said. I said that Christ dying, he was atonement, so we can understand the reason why the spirit, the reason why we should follow the law.
Yeah, right. All right, come on. Read what you had. Or you was explaining the newness of the law, right? What is the newness of the spirit?
Like
of what?
Newness.
Well, I need the whole phrase. I just want that we should serve in newness of spirit. What is Paul saying here? You got it? Anybody online? Anybody want to take a shot? What is Paul saying here? That we should serve in newness of spirit. What does it mean to serve? Come on. To follow, right? To obey. What else? Right? To perform duties. That's what you do. To serve, you perform duties, or you perform services, right? For another person. Right? So now, if the law was done away with, then how would we serve, meaning to perform any duties in the newness of anything, if the law was done away with? What would you be serving? Come on. That's the only thing you would be serving is yourself, right? But what did Paul say?
Talking about serving the original purpose behind it, following the law.
Nah, he said the spirit. He said to serve in the spirit. But who's the spirit? Christ. So how do we serve Christ? How do we obey his duties if Christ don't have none? If Christ said, do whatever the hell you want to do, how do we serve that? Let's imagine y'all are my servants, and I say, do whatever you want. How are you serving me? That's not a duty. That's not an obligation. That's not an order. It's not a law. You understand? So how do you serve in the newness of the Spirit? Mm-hmm. By following the law. That's all. It's as simple as that. Right? The spirit behind it is that you understand why we're following this law. You understand what this law brings to you. You understand it brings to your nation of people, right? Keep reading. Read that last part.
And not in the oldness of the letter.
Mm-hmm. Not the oldness of the letter. Why? Because in the letter we thought that the law brought death. Right? We didn't want to listen to the letter. Remember when Paul came down off Mount Sinai to address the people, Paul had to put a veiling over his face to cover up the glory of the Lord, because Salakia. Y'all just gonna let me say Paul, huh? Paul was on Mount Sinai, wasn't he? Good night. Not Paul, Moses. When Moses came off Mount Sinai and he addressed the nation, they put a veil over Moses' face because they did not want to they didn't want the glory of the Lord. They didn't want it. You understand? They wanted to do what? They wanted to smoke weed. They wanted to party. They wanted to worship the gods of Baal. They wanted to go back to Egypt. They wanted to stay in America. They wanted their EBT. They wanted their Nets versus the Mets. They wanted their NBA and NFL. They didn't want this place to be destroyed. And so that they could have their own land, they wanted the land in which they were second-class citizens. That's what we wanted. And so they put a veil over Moses' face so they didn't have to see him, right? But what Moses taught is the same thing that Christ is teaching. And remember that Christ came to do what? To remove the veil over Moses' face, because they taught the exact same thing. What Moses taught, Christ taught, and that's in the Bible. If you need the precept, I'll pull it. All right, go ahead, finish reading. Verse 7.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
What shall we say then?
Mm-hmm.
Is the law sin? God forbid.
It said what? Is the law sin? God forbid. Right? Keep going.
Nay,
Mm-hmm.
I had not known sin,
Mm-hmm.
but by the law.
Mm-hmm. I had not known sin, but by the law. What does that mean?
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
That if the law wasn't given, then he wouldn't know what sin is.
Right. Like we talking about sin, like even in the Christian church, right? Christians are so stupid. We talk about sin in the Christians. This is dumb. This is one of the dumbest things or dumbest ideas that I've heard Christians teach. Christians will tell you that you are a sinner. They'll tell you that God loves the sin and the sinner. They'll say listening to rap music is sinful music. They'll say you live in a sinful lifestyle. They'll say sin, 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 sinny, sin, sin. You smoking that blunt, that's a sin. Sinny, sin, 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 city. What is a sin? Come on.
Transgression of the law.
A sin, according to the Bible, is a transgression of God's law. So I would have to beg the question of a Christian who is sin, sin, cityed it up. If the law is done away with, then what sin are you talking about? What sin? How is rap music a sin if you just said that the law is done away with? You telling me that listening to rap music and smoking is a sin while you have a pork chop in your hand, ready to eat, because you believe that Christ died and now you can eat unlawful foods. That's what you believe. You teach that Christ died so you can eat that pork chop. But you're going to tell me that what? Smoking is a sin? Eat what? Because I'm listening to who? Tupac, I'm sinning now? Christians are like, I say this, I've been saying this for the longest and I'm going to continue saying it. Christians are like children. They're like little children who only see what's in front of their face. They don't understand nothing, nor do they care to understand anything, because it's very simple. Read that last part more time. Hold on, what you got? Go ahead.
You look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Now this is in the Bible. This is in the scriptures. I know you in church every Sunday, but yet you do not read the Bible. But this is just one of many precepts in the Bible that we can prove what about sin and how the law is not done away with. Read it one more time.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Whosoever, therefore, shall break one of these least commandments.
Whosoever, therefore, shall break one of these least commandments. What is a least commandment?
Like,
Come on.
eat pork.
Nah, important. Like one of the big ones. So like,
It's like,
uh-huh. Pork is known. Like, I mean, you can go to all kinds of religions and everyone know, because remember, all of these fake religions, the Buddhist monks, the Muslims, all of these religions, they all copy the Bible. All of them. You understand? So pork was something that was commonly known that is not what we did. We did not eat pork. You understand? Even when Christ walked over to the tombs outside of that city, I forget the name of the city, and there was men who was vexed with demons, and Christ allowed those devils to go into the pigs, and them pigs went down and killed themselves. Christ allowed them to go into them pigs because he allowed them unclean spirits to go into unclean animals and die, because them pigs is unclean. We never ate pigs. That was never our culture until we got here to America and we was force-fed this pig. You understand? But yeah, pig, that's huge. Like eating pork, that's crazy. That's wild. You eat a pork chop sandwich. Good night. Especially when, like, I can't pull off the top of my head a scripture where, you know, someone died in the Bible for being a drug dealer. But I can pull in the scripture where someone was murdered and tortured to death for eating pork. I can pull that. Come on. Nah, that's too much. Nah. Right? But I want to know, what I want to know is, what is the least commandment? Let me see if anybody online got it. Nobody online. Somebody type in online in the chat. What is the least commandment? Come on.
I want to say, you know, following the high holy days.
But nah, what would be a least commandment?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to follow the law. Like, that's another thing Christians kill me on too. Christians love God so much that they say to hell with everything God said to celebrate. Christians love God. Christians love God so much that they go and celebrate the 4th of July. That they Christians celebrate Halloween. Do you understand how much of a conundrum that is? The brother online said a commandment that isn't as tempting not to do. I really just need like an example, right? And in a second, I'm gonna just give y'all one. You said what? Lust. Right? Lusting over a woman. Right? Even though, let me be clear on that. I don't know if lusting over a woman is a sin. Right? I believe that lusting over a woman is nigh unto sinning. Right? Because that is what leads you to rape. It's what leads you to adultery. It's what leads you to those things. Remember, the Lord is more concerned with what you do, right? But you have those thoughts in your mind, you nigh unto sinning, right? What would actually be a sin, though, that could also be a thought in your mind? Jealousy, right? Jealousy would be a sin. Coveting thy neighbor would be a sin. How do you covet your neighbor? Come on. Nope.
So like
Mm-hmm.
By giving his name a bad rep behind his name, behind his back.
Nope. Coveting your neighbor is wanting what he has. You understand? Like you, the next door neighbor or Nadiyab, he pull up one day and he got a red Corvette. And now I hate Nadiyab because I want his Corvette. I want his Corvette so bad that, you understand, like, now I'm becoming a covet. You know, I'm coveting his Corvette. Or Nadiab got a banging woman. He come to the Passover and he got this broad on his shoulder and she bad. And I'm looking at her like, I want her. You understand? There's a difference between, dang, that Corvette is fire. I want a Corvette too. Or I want a Corvette that's my Corvette and I want his Corvette. You understand? I want a good girl, or I want a Tawa woman, or I want his woman. You understand? Someone answer this for me. Right? But there's a difference between those two, right? You understand? Who has something they was about to say? All right, no sweat.
So like, Emily out under pressure, choosing his ways, would that kind of go with that too?
You said what?
Emily out under pressure, choosing his ways, would that kind of go with that?
Choose none of the pressures of his ways.
Yeah, Emily out under pressure.
Not when it's dealing with the law, right? I just wanted something concise, right? So remember, jealousy or covetousness, those will be one of the least commandments. Something that's small, right? Something that's not, it's not considered in your brain a big deal, even though to the Lord it's a huge deal, right? Keep reading.
For I had not known. Oh wow. Salaga.
No, who was reading the law, the least commandments? Come on.
So like, you shall teach men so.
So now, if you break one of the least commandments and you teach men so, you teach men it's okay to covet. You teach men it's okay to be jealous, right? You teach men it's okay to, come on. Nah, that's a big sin. You're going to die. I'm thinking about some of them. Look, okay, it's a sin to mix fabrics. You understand? It's a sin to take polyester and cotton and mix them together. In the kingdom, you cannot do that. Okay. Right? It's a sin to eat roadkill. Okay. You can't be driving on the road and see an animal that is dead of its own self and eat it. You can't do it. It's a sin to it's another one. There's a lot, man. Remember, there's over like 600 something laws in the Bible. Yeah, something like that, right? But those would be considered small sins. But a man who was doing those and teaching men to do those things as well, keep going. Who had their hand raised? Go ahead, keep reading.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. You understand? He's going to be called the least in the kingdom of heaven, alongside with John the Baptist. All right? Why? Because John the Baptist didn't follow who? Come on. Christ. He didn't follow Christ. Christians love John the Baptist. Fake Israelites love John the Baptist. John the Baptist did not love Christ. And you cannot serve two masters. So you can't claim to love Christ and love John the Baptist. Because if we was here 1,000 years ago, if you love John the Baptist, then you would have not followed who? Christ. You would have not followed Christ. Come on.
So like, isn't that like these other camps out here? Like,
oh yeah, come on now. Forget about it. Yeah. You can't love IUIC and love the Lord. It doesn't go hand in hand. You can't be an individual like and claim to love the Lord. It don't work that way. You can't be in GMS or GOCC or Sons of Thunder or Sons of Yahweh ben Yahweh, whatever. You can't be in no fake Israelite group and claim to love the Lord. Because if you are in those fake Israelite groups loving Tahar, loving Nasty Nate, loving whatever leader you think you love, then obviously you cannot love Christ. Because Christ set up his school in America in this place in 1969. And if you are not in the ISUPK under Command and General Yohana as it stands to this day, then you don't love your brother. There is no way. You understand? There is no way that you can claim to even have any love for the Lord when you don't love your brother. That's a whole nother topic. Matter of fact, someone give me let me get the scripture where it says if thou bring an offering to the to the table. I'm gonna have to find it for you. Yeah, 5 and 23 and 24. Right. So if you one of them fake Israelites listening, and you don't understand, like, why is ISUPK got to be the only home of the truth? Why is it that if you're not in ISUPK, you're not in the truth? You understand? Well, this is why. This is why, because the Lord put a very distinct importance on the law of brotherhood. He did. You understand? He put very distinct laws in place on how brothers are supposed to deal with each other. Not so brothers can undermine each other, and not so brothers can war with each other and fight and kill each other. That's not why the law put these laws here. The Lord put the laws here, man. The Lord put these laws here so that all people can stay together with each other. So if you not still together with One West, if you broke off from One West and you not together with the Israelite school of UPK and the Commander General Yohana, then there is no way that you can ever claim to love the Lord, because you going against your brothers. You battling against your brothers, and I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove it, because all of you got some old sissy coward non-response as to why you ain't in One West. What Nasty Nate say? It was much polygamy. It was much polygamy and much backbiting and much this and much that. Well, what the scriptures say about that? The scriptures say that if you have an ought with your brother, to go and he and thee alone.
That's right.
You understand? And if he hear you, then thou have gaineth a friend. And if he don't hear you, then bring with you 2 or 3 witnesses. And in a matter of 2 or 3 witnesses, everything will be heard. And then those 2 or 3 witnesses will decide who's right and who's wrong. And then if that don't work, then you'll take it in front of the whole school. You're taking in front of the whole congregation, and then the congregation will decide. And at that point, if you decide to go against the counsel that was given out, then you are making yourself a Republican and a heathen unto the nation of Israel. That is simple. That is life. That is how One West has stayed together. And now, if you in some fake Israelite group, you got to understand this out. You are the Republican. That's what you are. You're the heathen if you're not in One West. Because somewhere along the lines, for anyone to have broke off from One West and to leave the Israelite school of UPK, that means that there was some difference. There was some ought. And they went to council, or they didn't. A lot of them was just bitch made and just didn't go to council and just left and created a fake Israelite group. A lot of your camps did that. But if they left the school to do whatever the hell they wanted to do, that means that the council was against them. The nation was against your leader. That's what you need to understand. You need to understand that. The nation of Israel is against your leader. They voted Tahar wrong for teaching that you can sleep with little girls. They voted him wrong for teaching that we can sleep with white women. And now here you are, happy as hell in GMS. And you don't ever question, well, why didn't you just go and teach the Israelite school of UPK that it was okay to teach what we're teaching today? It's because of the nation of Israel said that he was wrong. And because he didn't want to accept that, he went and created your old group. Nasty Nate went and created his old gay group, Purple Rain. And now you in there proud as hell. But read this, Hawk. Let's see what the Lord got to say about brotherhood.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 23. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar,
thou bring thy gift to the altar. Ooh-wee. You thinking you doing something, ain't you? In that purple faggot group. You think you doing it up. They coming, they marching in the streets. You think you holding the pass. You understand? You know how many fake Israelites think they hold the Passover? You know how many fake Israelites think that because they get the lamb and they kill it themselves and they get the unleavened bread and they follow the words that's in this book, and they get in there and they read them scriptures in the bottom of their basement or in their living room or in their cathedral, their coliseum. You know what I mean? Fake Israelites think that they doing something big for the Lord. They showing out for God. Let me think they doing that. They bringing a gift to the altar. Keep reading.
And there, remember that thy brother hath aught against thee.
But then you remember that One West is not affiliated with you. And you remember that the Israelite School of UPK stands alone in this truth. And that we've been here since 1969, and your group has been established since 2003, 2008, 2012, 2018. You remember that there's an alt. And get it right. Understand this right now. If you're not in the Israelite School of UPK, then we are not brothers. We're not. So we have an alt. We have a feud between the two of us. And now you remember this. Keep going.
Verse 24. Leave there thy gift before the altar.
Hold on. I think you skipped something. You finished 23?
Okay.
Okay, read it 24 again, Salakia.
Verse 24. Leave there thy gift before the altar.
Leave thy gift before the altar, man. Leave thy 800 marching purple men before the altar. Leave it there. Leave your organization. Leave it. Leave it right there. All the work you think you're doing, that camp you got, leave it alone. Leave it right there. Don't go to camp. That building you think you own with them classes you think you teaching, leave it. Them garments that you think you rocking, leave it. Keep going.
And go thy way.
And go thy way. Go walk the other way. Turn away from the Lord. Keep going.
First be reconciled to thy brother.
To do what?
First be reconciled to thy brother.
No, we got the truth too.
First be reconciled to thy brother.
No, we should just have a unity camp.
First be reconciled to thy brother.
Well, you guys can't be the only ones with the truth.
First be reconciled to thy brother.
The Lord said to first be reconciled to thy brother. If you aren't in One West, then you haven't reconciled to your brother. You left Commander General Yohana. He's still cooking. He's still pushing. And you went to go create your own camp. You went to create your own school. And the Lord said, if thou bring thy gift to the altar and you have not been reconciled to your brother, then you should just go thy way. You should just leave. You shouldn't even be an Israelite. You should just be a Christian. You should just go to church. Because what is the point of all of this? What are we doing here? What is the point of learning that you're an Israelite if you're going to go and do what Christians do? What's the point of learning that you're an Israelite if you're going to go and do what our brothers in the world does? What is the point? We're going to come together being Israelites but be separated. You understand? There, you do not love the Lord. Keep going.
And they come and offer thy gift. Verse 25. Agree with thine adversary.
Drop that, right? Read verse 24 one time.
Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 24. Leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
And then come and offer thy gift. You understand? You got to alt with your brother. You got to go fix it between him first, man. Go to him. You know, even on a lower level, you gotta alt with a brother. You say, hey, man, I don't like the way that you said this about me. Or I don't like the way that you did this. And I don't like the way that you did that. Why? Because if you got an outstanding alt with a brother, then there is no way you can love the Lord. Because the Lord commanded us to love each other. Now, if we understood that, that ends what? All the feud between Bloods and Crips. Every Blood and Crip you know claim to love the Lord. All of them. The Vice Kings, the GDs, they all claim to love God. None of them do. None of them do. Because if you love God, you will love God enough to love his sons. You will love God enough to love his daughters. And you would go to them brothers. You would say, you know what? We don't need to be killing each other, man. I don't need to shoot you in this club because you stepped on my shoe by accident. I don't need to shoot you in the club because I seen you talking to my woman and you didn't know that she had a man. I don't need to do this and behave myself this way. Why? Because I love God. And I know that God loves you. Because if you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indians, then I already know that you are God's chosen people. You the sons of God and the princesses of God. So why am I going to harm you? Why am I going to lie to you? Why am I going to steal from you and murder you when I know that I'm going to have to pay for harming one of God's children? Did not Pharaoh have to pay for hurting the sons of God in Egypt? He did. Did not Babylon pay? What about Assyria? Rome, Greece? All of these nations had to pay for what they did to the children of Israel. And what you think you don't pay for the people you hurt? You don't think that you're gonna have to pay for the lives you destroyed, for the people you've lied to? You're gonna have to pay for all of those things, man, because the Lord loves his people, man. The Lord loves his children, and you have to love his children. Otherwise, then you ain't with the Lord. Come on, Juan. Come on.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hate his brother.
If a man say, I love God, and hated his brother, you love the Lord, but you created your own fake Israelite group. How'd that work? What'd you do that for? If any brother in here leave and go create his own Israelite group, then obviously you don't love me, because you don't go to camp with me. You're going to camp with you and your people. You understand? Keep going.
He is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar.
He is a liar, man. Nasty Nate is a liar. Tahar is a liar. You understand? Any leader in them fake Israelite groups, they are liars. They do not love their brother. If they did, what would they do? They would be in. Go ahead.
Like it'll be one less.
I mean, even before that, it ain't as. Don't make it seem like I ain't making it as easy. I ain't trying to make it seem like it's the easiest thing in the world. I'm not saying that. But there would be some kind of showmanship of what the scriptures is trying to tell us. What would they be doing in them fake Israelite groups?
What was the question?
Read the scripture one more time.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God.
If a man say he loves God, do fake Israelites love God? They say they do. They say they love God. They hold the Passover, right? Keep going.
And hate his brother.
But they hate their brothers. They hate. Now, of course, and they'll say, no, I love all you brothers. No, you don't. You don't love me. You understand? It's no different than me saying I love the homeless people that I pass by every single day and do nothing for. Them homeless people going to look at you and say what? That you hate me. They're not going to think that you love me or that you love them, because love and hate are both what? Actions. If you love me, you would be at camp with me. If you love me, you would be in class with me. You'd be at the food drive with me. My burdens would be your burdens. My suffering would be your sufferings, as yours would be mine. If you love me, but because you don't love me, nothing that is wrong with my life, you don't even ever hear about it. Why? Because you over there. Right? Keep reading.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he has seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen?
How can he love the Lord? So now, with that being said, what will be happening with these fake Israelites if they actually loved us?
Like you said.
Go on.
They come and join the school.
Even before that. Come on.
The precept talk about they left and they would never others.
Yeah, that's true. Right? But just think about it in today's, like, it's some fake Israelites out here today that says, man, we love y'all brothers, man. We love y'all. We wish we could go to camp with y'all. That'll never happen. Right? Okay. But what would they do? Come on. What would they do?
Show their actions.
How?
Be the truth.
Before they even be in the truth.
By going to council, or not council.
You on it?
Reconcile with their brothers.
They would be in class, asking questions. They would be in class. They would be on the phone. They would be texting. They would be in communication. They would be trying to figure out, how can we fix this feud between us? What went wrong? How can we fix it? How can we mend our differences? They would be trying to do it. They don't try to do it. You know why? Because they hate you. You understand? And that's one of the biggest fake Israelite lie of all time, is that they loved you because you are an Israelite. They don't love you. That's bad for business. You understand? I tell you right now, I don't love fake Israelites. I don't give a damn about a fake Israelite. I don't give a damn about TD Jakes. I love my brothers and my sisters that's in the ISUPK.
That's right.
That's all the love that I have to give. You understand? And if you don't understand that, then you will forever be a loser. You will forever lose your kingdom. You'll lose your kingdom. You'll lose your nation. You'll lose your neighborhood because you love everybody like some rainbow nuance. House cat, whatever. You will lose everything because you love everything. Me in the ISUPK, we don't love everything. We love what God loves and we hate who God hates. And the Lord hates fake Israelite groups, man. You know why? Because the Lord called us to be together in one body, one baptism, one spirit. And that spirit is one West. And that shit is so poetic. It's so poetic. It's almost, you would have thought it was made up. You would have thought it's made up that one West is the one spirit, one body, and one baptism into the Lord, man. But of course, you don't love your brothers. You don't love them. And so you'll create your own fake Israelite group. You understand? Where we at? Who had a piece? Who had a hand raised? Come on. Mm-hmm.
I had a precept for love.
Love. Nah, you could. Yeah, I know that one. You could drop that one though. We good on love. We know what love is. What we didn't know is that the fake Israelites don't love you. That's what you didn't know. You understand? Where we at? I know I had what, 2 Corinthians? Did we finish that?
Last. I don't think we finished. No, it was Romans.
Romans? What, 7 and 6?
Don't.
Did we finish that?
No, we didn't finish it.
Then? All right, finish it.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
What shall we say then?
Mm-hmm.
Is the law sin?
Mm-hmm.
God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
Nay, I had not known sin but by the law.
Mm-hmm.
For I had not known lust,
Mm-hmm.
except the law had said,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt not covet.
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 Right?
Select it.
Right? So these sin, meaning what? That the sins that we know come from God. Right? Meaning what? Without sin, there is no law. Without law, there is no sin. You understand? It goes hand in hand with each other. Right? You can drop that. Questions? Any questions online? Any questions in the chat? Type it in the chat. Any questions on the Instagram? Type it on the chat. We get to it. If not, I'm going to play Christian. Nothing?
Well, I had a question in Judges. I think I asked you a question. I don't think you said you need a breakdown.
What was it?
It was Japheth and his daughter. Like he went to war with the Ammonites,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically said that the first thing that comes out of his house, if the Lord delivered the Ammonites into his hands, that he would give unto the Lord as a burnt offering.
And then what? What's your question with it?
Well, his daughter came out to greet him with singing and dancing, but my carnal mind makes me think like that he gave up his daughter as a burnt offering.
I don't think he did that, but I have to get the exact breakdown on it.
Okay.
But off the top of my head, I don't remember Jack doing that. It's possible. I'm not sure. No sweat.
Okay.
Come on.
I know it's kind of plain and simple, but 1 Timothy 2:12.
Come on.
But I suffer not a woman to teach,
Mhm.
nor to assert a third authority over the man,
Mhm.
but to be in silence.
I suffer a woman not to teach. What does that mean?
It's like, talk about the Bible, not teaching the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Mean what?
She should be a student, I guess.
A little bit more. Let me get it. You said 1 Timothy?
Okay. 2:12.
All right. So you pull 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 12, right?
Okay.
One more time. Loud for them.
This is book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to assert authority over the man, but to be in silence.
Mm-hmm. Suffer not a woman to teach. What does it mean?
Like, I mean, talking about like a woman shouldn't teach the words of God, but I guess you could say you read further down, talks about Adam and Eve's role.
It's a little bit more to this, right? Right? Can a woman teach her children? Can she teach her children the laws of God? But it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach. So what is that saying? That's a contradiction, isn't it? If you're telling me that a woman can teach the laws of God, but then when it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach the laws of God, which is what you just said, that's a contradiction. So what is it saying? But I suffer not a woman to teach. Read it one more time. Read from verse 11.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11.
Let me see if anybody online said anything. Woman not teaching the Bible to men, but she could teach children and other women. You on it. You on it. Right? Right? But I wouldn't say that a woman can't teach a man. Right? Can a woman teach a man? You sure?
Well, teach him how to deal with certain things like with women or like cooking things like that.
So a woman can teach a man how to cook. Well, let's stick on topic. I think the brother is speaking about the scriptures, right? He's saying that a woman not teaching the Bible to men. He said the Bible, but she can teach, of course, he means the Bible to children and other women. Would you agree? No. She can't teach the Bible to children or other women. And let's keep this simple. Let's dumb it down to the law. Let's just keep it as simple as possible and concise. So now this woman is wanting to teach the law, right? Can she teach the law to her children and other women? No. Explain. Y'all gotta speak up too. They can hear the unsurety in your voices. You said a woman cannot teach them. So who teaches the child if you off at war for 12 years? But you just said you can't teach him. So when the son says, "Can I smoke this?" She has to say what? I just wait for your father to come back. I understand, but come on. What is this saying here? What is the point of this?
So like,
come on.
To say who teaches the law of God.
Come on.
So like to show that there's a order.
You on it. You're on it. I need a little bit more. Come on. Y'all both on it. Order, hierarchy. But what is it saying? Can a woman teach the Bible?
Come
To who?
to her children, to her, to show them that it's alive. To her children and other women.
Okay. Y'all stumped.
Yeah, I hear it, but it's not coming up.
Go ahead and read it. Mm-hmm.
This book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have you know
Hierarchy.
that the head of every man is Christ,
Mm-hmm.
and the head of the woman
Mm-hmm.
is the man.
The head of the woman is the man, right? And she's over the children. Men are under Christ. Christ is under the Lord. That is the hierarchy, right, of our nation. Now, can a woman teach her children that it is unlawful to eat pork? Yes. How do you know?
She's over it. It's like she's over the children.
Yes, and there are sisters in the Bible who taught the children, right? Deborah, right? She had to teach the children or give counsel to the nation while the men were at war, right? The woman in 2 Maccabees, she was teaching her children to do what? Come on. To follow the laws of God and to not eat pork, and rather to die, which is a hard lesson to teach your own children, right? But she did it. But now, what is this saying? What is the point of this? Come on.
To say who was supposed to do the work.
The point, you was on it with the hierarchy. I may have to just give it to you. All right, read it one more time. I'll just break it down. Hold on. Brother said, under the guidance of a husband or authority of counsel of a man of the Lord, Khan, right? And then brother says she can't hold a leadership position in teaching. That's it. You on it. A woman can't hold a leadership position. That you on it, right? I'm gonna break it down. Go ahead. Yeah.
This book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence.
Let the woman learn in silence. You understand? Meaning what? What's the point of her learning in silence? Because she doesn't have what? Come on.
Wisdom. Most likely. Understand.
You're right. She doesn't have the authority in this aspect, and she doesn't have wisdom in this aspect. But in silence means that she wouldn't have what? If someone speaks up and says something, that means they have what? Come on.
The answers.
Say so.
And a say so is what? It's an opinion. She doesn't have an opinion on how her feelings make her feel about us eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. She doesn't have an opinion in this matter. So let her learn in subjection. Let her learn in silence. Let her learn and let her be quiet and let her learn. Let the men battle. You understand? Which is why I feel so sorry for all of the women in them fake Israelite groups, because they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They following their husband. It just so happened that their husband is an idiot. And that's a sad, sad thing. It's a sad, sad story. Because the men are supposed to battle. They're supposed to battle if we're supposed to eat shrimp. They're supposed to battle if we're supposed to follow the new moon. We're supposed to battle if the law is done away with or not. And then the women are supposed to learn as we battle by the powers that are in charge. You understand? Which right now today is the Israelite School of UPK.
That's right.
You understand? So as they're learning without an opinion. They are quiet as they're learning. Keep reading.
With all subjection. Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
But I suffer not a woman to teach. Meaning what? The Lord is saying that they can learn, but I suffer not a woman to teach. The question is this: where are they learning that they have to be in silence?
Like,
Come on.
for the Bible. Your husband.
Where are they learning that they have to be in silence?
So like,
Come on.
in the household.
Remember the nation of Israel was not a bunch of individualites. That's something that's new. You understand? That's what we're doing today, these individualite nonsense. The nation of Israel, what I just said was stupid. You understand what I just said? The nation of Israel ain't a bunch of individualites. A nation is a nation. We're a group of people. You understand? We're all one people under one order. The nation of Israel was once ruled by who? King Saul. Then it was ruled by who? King David. Now it was ruled by Yahushua. Right? And under him is Commander General Yohana. Right? But that's a nation of people. But where would she be learning with all subjection? Come on.
From Christ.
Is Christ down here teaching your wife?
Are you asking now or back then?
Anytime.
Well, back then they would probably be learning in the synagogue. Right?
And the synagogue would be what?
Like,
Come on.
In the church.
I wouldn't say church, but you could say church, or other word for church, right? The congregation. The congregation of people. She's learning in the congregation with all subjection and also in silence. I'll read the next part one more time.
Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
But I suffer not a woman to teach. So where she is learning, the Lord is saying what? A woman cannot teach there. You cannot teach the congregation. You cannot be an elder. There is no such thing as elder woman, elder sister. There is no such thing. You cannot lead the people. Why? And this is where Christians are dumb. Christians don't understand the Bible. Who ran the nation? Right? What was the hierarchy of the nation of Israel back during these times? Of course, it was the Lord. Right? Okay. And then the Lord always dealt with who? One man. Right? Like Moses, for example. Okay. And then who did Moses put under him? Come on. Right. No. Come on.
Was it Aaron?
Remember, Aaron was just a mouthpiece of Moses.
Oh, come on, God.
So who was under Moses that Moses had set up?
So like Joshua.
Joshua came after Moses. Who was under Moses while Moses reigned? Anybody online? Someone tell me, who did Moses set up? Right? During the Exodus to rule under Moses while Moses was alive. I'll give y'all a second to type it in the chat.
I don't want to keep spitballing.
Good.
Is it Joseph?
Not Joseph. How does Israel govern itself? What does our governing body look like? Come on.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Remember, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is dead. Young man Trey said ISUPK. Damn right. Nah. ISUPK was nowhere here. We weren't there yet. You understand? ISUPK came long after. But the setup is still the same. That's it. Elders. That's right. Moses set up elders to be under him and to be over the people. You understand? Meaning the elders will report what's happening with the people, right? They will report it back to Moses. Moses would talk to the Lord. The Lord would speak to Moses. Moses would tell the elders would rule the people. You understand? Wherever they at, that was the governing body of the nation of Israel. Now, those elders back then, they in their leadership, they weren't what? Like we have today. What weren't they? Come on. You ain't gonna get this one. They weren't your religious leader. They weren't your Christian pastor. They weren't the men that you went to just to give a peace offering or to bless or get a blessing. These were the men that ran the nation of Israel. Meaning, when it came to finances, when it came to plagues, when it came to going to war, these were the men that you dealt with, which is why it is stupid that you think today that a woman would ever hold that seat. Why would a woman hold the seat that determines if a people goes to war or not? Why would she hold that seat? That determines if we retaliate. That determines if we attack. That determines if we send spies to Jericho. Why would she be in that seat when our women are precious and valuable to us and we don't send our women to war? Why would she? This doesn't make no sense. Why would a woman which because of her gender, we don't send her to battle, is in the seat to make decisions to send other people to battle? What world does that make sense in? None. Which is why she would never have been there. Which is why the Bible is telling a woman to learn in silence, in all subjection. You understand? With no opinions. Keep reading.
Nor to assert authority over the man.
Nor to usurp authority over her man. Meaning what? If you go inside the house and your woman is teaching the children, don't eat shrimp, crab, pork, lobster, and you can't eat deer, right? As a husband and as a man who follows the Lord, you will come in and say, what? Someone can see me one more time with that in the kitchen. Right? You would say what to her?
Like,
come on.
You correct her?
How?
Like,
by
teaching her?
Teaching her what?
The correct way.
What would you teach her? Remember, she's teaching the children that you can't eat shrimp, crab, pork, lobster, and deer.
Teach her that you eat deer.
Is deer unlawful? All right, then. So you would tell her, hey, babe, don't teach the children that they can't eat deer, at least according to the law, because eating deer is lawful, right? Now, what if she says, don't you tell me what to teach the children? I don't eat no mother effing deer, so they ain't gonna eat no mother effing deer. And I like deer, especially with the barbecue sauce, this, that, and the third, or whatever she says out of her mouth, you understand? That would be doing what? What would that be called?
Hypocrite.
No, what we just read. Come on. Usurping authority over her man. That is how it works. You understand? Can she teach the children? Can she teach her homegirls? Them sluts that she called friends that committing adulteries a sin according to the Bible? Absolutely. You understand? Absolutely she can and she should. She should teach the women good things. She should teach her children good things. And of course, good things come from the law. Do me a favor, cut that off in that. Right? She should teach good things. But if the men or the priests or the men of the Lord tell her that she has to shema, you understand, or don't teach that because it's wrong, then she has to what? She has to fall in line. That's in the scriptures. Keep reading.
Okay. But to be in silence. Verse 13. For Adam was first formed.
For Adam was first formed. Why was Adam first formed? What was the point of Adam being formed? This is what women got to understand. Sisters, you got to understand this. You got to accept this so that you can stop trying to do it. Why was Adam formed? Come on.
Leadership.
No. Adam wasn't formed for leadership. What was Adam formed to do?
It's like it.
Come on.
To, oh my gosh, I'm gonna say the wrong word, but I know he was put in the garden for that reason.
Adam was formed to do work,
Okay.
to do the work that God wanted to be done on earth.
Okay.
A woman came after Adam. You understand why? Because a woman was put here to help him.
Okay.
Her job is not to do the work. You understand? It's not your job to run nations. It's not your job to be an ambassador. It's not your job to fight in battles and wars. It's our job to do the work. It's their job to help us. You understand? Go ahead, Juan. Come on.
Book of 1 Corinthians.
And again, all of this is in the Bible. So whenever you see that Christian pastor woman, brother, that is dumb. You do know it's a sin for a woman to go into the congregation or the church or the school while she's on her period.
Whoa, that's heavy.
Did you not know that? It's a sin for a woman to go into the congregation while she's on her period. So if you have a woman pastor and she's there 4 times a week, she's in there and she's sinning against the Lord, teaching you about God. Go ahead, Juan.
Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Neither was the man created for the woman,
Mm-hmm.
but the woman for the man.
Yeah, man. She was created to be a helpmate, to help her husband. Right? Behind every great priest you see in this school, for the most part, there's a great woman behind him, helping him. You understand? Doing what she got to do to take care of her obligations, to take care of the duties that she gave him. You understand? So that we can get this nation rebuilt. That's it on that?
Okay.
All right, where we at? Who else had their hand raised? Trayvon said usurping authority or power. Con, you're right. Right? You cannot usurp authority over your husband. Where else we at? What scripture was we at? We good on that.
I don't think it was out of scripture. I think you just said if we have no questions, we don't take questions.
You sure? Nah, Juan pulled a scripture in 1 Timothy.
Yeah, 1 Timothy 2 as well.
Did you finish it?
Oh, yeah. You didn't finish the last one.
Yeah, come on.
This book, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
For Adam was first formed, then Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam was not deceived,
Uh-huh.
but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
But the woman being deceived was in the transgression, right? Because the woman was where they get naive from. Not unto Eve. She was easily beguiled, right? Because of shiny things, pretty things, things that make her comfortable, things that play on her emotions, right? Like the scriptures say, keep the doors of thy mouth shut to her, from her that lieth in her bosom. The bosom is her emotions, how she feels, which means what? Don't tell her. You sometimes shouldn't tell her everything out. Like don't. Yeah. Now, do you have to withhold information from your woman? No. No. Are you wrong to say mind your business? Hell no. And sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you have to say mind your business. Why? Because if you don't, your woman will destroy the house. She'll break the TV. She'll punch you in the face and call the police on you. She'll do all kinds of things to you because she lies in her bosom. She's so emotional. That's just the way that they are. It's the way that they made. No matter how much they try to hide it or fight against it, eventually they break because they're not built for the constant pressure that men are built for. They're not built for the constant uncomfortability that we're built for. That's why it's a perfect mesh. We're built for their mouth. You understand? But they can't take ours.
Very opposite.
They can't take ours. We're built to take theirs. Right? You understand? But that's the relationship between a man and a woman, that a man is here to do the work and a woman is here to help her man do the work. Right? Keep reading. Oh, who had a hand raised? Come on.
Well, it kind of has something to do with the topic of women, well,
Come on.
Adam and Eve. But I seen this video the other day, and this woman was basically trying to say that it was Adam's fault that Eve ate the.
Genesis 2:15 through 17 and Genesis 3 like 1 through 5.
No, I understand that.
What are they saying?
She was trying to say that Adam was the reason that Eve ate the fruit.
So like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. I saw the same video. The woman basically said, talk about Genesis 2:15 through 17, talking about Eve or Adam didn't tell her when, if you read Genesis 3, 1 through 5, Eve told the serpent the actual law that she's supposed to. You can't eat in the midst of the garden. So it's like Eve already knew. I guess,
He told her.
He already talked to that too. So it's like it's kind of contradicting.
I don't know what y'all talking about right now. I'll be honest. It was Eve who did it because we just read it.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's right.
We just read it, so we're gonna end on that. Yeah, we're gonna end on that. We read it, so
that's all I was just saying. This is a major cut to her.
Yeah, it was good. I read her stupid video.
Hey, we'll make a TikTok. I don't know, but let's get back to it. Good night. I don't know anything about that. You understand? Questions? Anything else? Come on now, Hebrews. I gotta start asking these questions. Come on.
What's that scripture that tells you to teach a woman according to the knowledge?
The one we just read. What are you asking me at? To teach a woman according to knowledge? Not cop out questions, real questions. You're not about to get the cop out plea. No. Come on, we're not Christians in here, man. Y'all got to read these scriptures and actually ask. Let the Christian church, let them Christians go in there and sing and dance. Let them do that. And here we don't have time to sing and dance and then leave the church not knowing a damn thing about nothing.
So like,
come on.
How do I prove to someone that the dragon in Revelations is a person and not,
Well, the dragon isn't a person.
Well,
the dragon is nations.
Come.
Right? You can prove to them that because dragons ain't freaking real. You got to stop being mythical on the Bible. The dragon is a representation, just like the snake in the garden is a representation. It's not a real dragon because dragons aren't real. Period. You understand? And if dragons are real, or if you believe that dragons are real, then that explains why you blow rod for cigarette butts, because you don't believe that God is real. You don't believe what's in this Bible is literal. If you believe in dragons, that's as simple as I can put it. Right now, you would have to go into all the breakdown of the heads, the crowns, and the thorns. We don't got time for that. But
I get that part. It's just me and my father. He basically tried to say that this dragon was a physical creature.
Okay, give me if the dragon was a physical creature, then does a dragon have the ability to deceive people? And by deceive, I mean to make them go against their God. Give me Revelation 12:9.
This book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent.
Hold on. Go to verse 1.
This book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed in the sun.
With the sun.
So like clothed with the sun. And the moon under her feet. And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
So that crown with the 12 stars would represent what? Come on.
Israel.
The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Keep going.
Verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And she, being with child, cried.
And now this woman is pregnant, right? And all of this is a vision, right? This is the quick answer is that everything that's being referenced here is a vision that John the Revelator is seeing, which means what? It's not real life. Okay. This is something he's seeing. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen in a dream? Just name something.
Me flying.
Yeah. Is that real? Do men fly? But you saw yourself flying though, huh?
Yeah.
But so you telling me men don't fly? So if I wrote a book right now that said that Nadia Yab flew, you telling me that that's not real, that men didn't fly?
That's correct.
Oh, because why?
It's a dream.
Because men don't fly. Not Hawaiian. You ever had something crazy in your dream? I've had Freddy Krueger in my dream. I don't know about you. Yeah, I've definitely had Freddy Krueger in my dream, but guess what? Freddy Krueger isn't real. You understand? Even though he was in my dream, I could write a book about what I saw in my dream. Freddy Krueger is not real. Could Freddy Krueger be symbolism for someone else who tried to kill me? He could. He could be that. Could Freddy Krueger be my dad? He could. But is Freddy Krueger real? No. Just like the dragon isn't real, because this is a revelation. This is a vision that John is having. But nonetheless, let's read it. Verse 2.
This book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 2. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
Meaning what? We're waiting on this nation to be born. We're waiting on this nation to be born and to come together and become the nation of Israel, God's chosen people. And it's painful to get it done. It's painful when you have to take those council calls. It's painful when you take those calls from prison. It's painful because of the work that we have to do to try to build this nation. It hurts. It hurts when you have to go to camp. It hurts when you have to go to class. And every day you're waiting on Christ to return. And every day you find yourself wondering. Every day you find yourself wanting and pandering along, waiting, because this walk is very long. And so now here we are. Another day has gone by and we're waiting. Come on. Well, let's go through this because it's going to take some time. Come on.
Verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven. Keep going.
And behold, a great red dragon.
A great red dragon. Do great red dragons exist? Can you even go into a museum and see the skeletal system of a great red dragon? No, you can't, because great red dragons do not exist. Keep going.
Having 7 heads.
Can you find a great red dragon that has 7 heads in a museum? I don't even think I've seen that in a movie yet. Maybe 3. I don't think I've seen a movie with a dragon with 7 heads. Keep going.
And 10 horns.
And 10 horns, I damn sure have never seen this in no movie. Keep going.
And 7 crowns upon his head.
And what the hell would a dragon do with crowns, Ak? Where do crowns come from? People. Hold on now. So I mean, you telling me that dragons don't have like dragon manufacturer shops where they just mold lava and molten gold and silver and just they have like a dragon community where they buy crowns? They don't. So what the hell would a dragon have a crown on his head for? Have you ever seen an alligator with a crown on his head? What about a ostrich? Let me see what else. What about a whale? A tiger shark? What about what else is out there? I don't know. A snake. Because what the fuck does a snake need a crown on his head for? You know why? Because this dragon is not real.
Okay.
Keep going.
So like verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
His tail drew the third parts of the stars of heaven. Meaning what? This dragon was so massive that when his tail swung, it moved the stars. How far away are the stars?
Light years.
Do you think that if you under this ozone layer that you can touch a star? No. You know why these stars moved?
Slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a vision.
Because it ain't real.
Oh, God.
Keep reading.
And did cast them to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the dragon stood before the woman.
And now this dragon, this old big dragon with 7 heads, that its tail is so big it can move the stars, is just for whatever reason standing in front of this one woman. Keep going.
Which was ready to be delivered.
Now this woman who is carrying the nation of Israel is ready to give birth to this nation, ready to bring the king to this nation so that we could be ruled and become God's chosen people again. Keep reading.
For to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So now apparently this dragon is a beast that is also inclined with politics. Apparently. You understand? This is what's really happening. The nation of Israel is getting ready to be born. And this dragon, which are these other nations,
Okay.
you understand? It's America, it's Russia, it's Rome, it's Italy, it's Australia, it's the Great Britain, it's the Syria, it's these nations that are intimidating blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to never go back to their God, to never serve their God, because if you serve your God, their intimidation is that they'll kill you, which is why this woman is being intimidated to give birth to this baby. Hold on, you got some on topic? Come on.
I got the 7 heads and 10 horns.
Go ahead. Name it out loud. Go ahead.
This is 7 heads. England, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Russia, France, and Italy.
Those are the heads of the dragon. Keep going.
And the 10 horns. America, Australia, Scotland, Ireland, Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, Luxembourg, Netherlands, and Belgium.
And those are the horns that came after the heads.
Okay.
You understand? Now, keep reading.
So like it. Verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child.
And she brought forth a man-child. She had gave birth to that baby. And who was this man-child that was brought forth?
So like it.
Come on.
Christ.
This is Christ. This is Yahweh child that was brought forth. Keep reading.
Who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
He was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, man. You understand? Keep going.
And her child was caught up unto God.
Uh-huh.
And to his throne.
Meaning what?
So like it, sir. That the Lord chose him to sit on the throne.
Yeah, he's gonna sit up onto the throne. He gonna rule these nations. Keep going.
Verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness.
And she left. Keep going.
Where she had a place prepared of God. That they should feed her there 1,260 days.
Meaning that woman is waiting, right? She's waiting. Keep going.
Verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Right? What war is that talking about?
Salagia. When the chariots come to
yes. When America fights with what they call that, the U.S. Space Force. When they fight with all those bombs and all of those undetectable missiles and those nukes, when they fight in the skies, the U.S. Air Force, when they fight against Michael and the angels, keep going.
And the dragon fought and his angels.
And the dragon fought with his angels, with his bombs and with his fighter jets and with his attack pilots. Keep going.
Verse 8. And prevailed not.
But they lost. And this vision that John had, they prevailed not against God and his angels. Keep going.
Neither was their place found anymore in heaven.
Neither was their place found any more in heaven. Meaning what? All of them satellites, all of the NASA space programs, all of the space stations that they set amongst the stars, it was not there anymore. All that money, all of that money and resources they put into putting their people into the sky, the Lord, John had a revelation that it was not there anymore. Keep going.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And the great dragon was cast out.
And that great dragon was cast out. Why? Because at some point, that dragon was able to rule. That dragon was able to reign supreme on this earth. And now the Lord is casting that dragon out. And we just named who that dragon was. Keep going.
That old serpent.
That what?
Old serpent.
Hold on. Say it one more time.
That old serpent.
That old serpent. That old serpent. Meaning what? That's the spirit of this dragon. And who this dragon is the same spirit of that serpent that was in the Garden of Eden thousands of years ago, in the Garden of Eden, that beguiled Eve to sin against the Lord. That old serpent, keep going.
Called the devil.
Called who?
The devil.
One more time.
The devil.
Say it one more time.
The devil.
Now, hold on. Now, we believe that the devil is some dragon for one. He's not underneath the earth. The devil ain't supposed to be flying around out of y'all. I thought the devil was downstairs. So, I mean, if this dragon is the devil and the serpent, keep going.
And Satan.
And Satan. Hold on now. Now, I ain't the smartest cookie in the bunch. But even the blackety blacks seem to call the oppressor the devil. Seem to call the oppressor, say that he has a spirit of Satan. So this is Satan. Maybe not. Let's just keep reading.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Good night. Which deceiveth the whole world. Who deceived the whole world? Come on.
The oppressor.
The oppressor did, all right. Not the dragon. There was no dragon that stands in the sky and floats that made you believe that Christ was a white man. There's no dragon that floats in the sky that makes you believe that it's okay to eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. There is no dragon. There is Donald Trump, though. There is him. There is your school teachers from middle school. They are there. There is your Pope, your Catholic priest, your Jehovah's Witness. They are there who teach you these things. That obviously, and you would agree, to whoever's listening, you would agree that the Catholic priests lie, don't you? Wouldn't you agree? You would agree that the Pope is a liar, wouldn't you? You would say, yeah, them Pope be lying. You would say the Jehovah's Witnesses are liars. You would say that. I know you would. Well, guess what? So was that dragon. So was that dragon. So was Satan. So was the devil. And so was that snake in the garden. They are all liars, and they all share the same spirit of the one man that you and I both know is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
You understand? Yeah.
Right.
Keep reading.
He was cast out into the earth.
He was cast out into the earth, man. He has such a high seat. You understand? Just like the oppressor today. You think the oppressor lives on earth with you? Is that what you believe? I'm asking. Yeah, no, he doesn't. I know you believe he does because you see him next door. I know you believe he does because he lives down the block. He don't live where you live. Because if that's the case, then how in the hell are you in hell and you live next door to him? How is he in heaven, but you're in hell? It wouldn't make sense, would it? Because he doesn't live here. He lives here while you are on the bottom. While you scourge and fight and scavenge for resources and equality. Black Lives Matter. The white man is what? He's creating more programs to push Pride Month in your schools that you have to fight to even get your child to go to. You got to fight to get your child to go to school, and then let's fight against the oppression of Pride Month that your child pushes. I mean, that the oppressor pushes. He don't live on this level with us. But one day, he gonna see. One day, he gonna be brought back down, and he's going to understand. They think they understand now because they watch Roots, or because they seen Sankofa, or because they got a couple black friends. They don't get it. Yeah.
I got black friends.
Yeah, I got black friends.
I got black friends.
I got black friends. They don't understand nothing.
My cousin boyfriend.
But the Bible said that they will be brought back down. Keep going.
He and his angels were cast out with him.
And his angels too. Oh yeah. Meaning what? You think you're gonna go fight for the oppressor? Go do it. Go join with the oppressor if you want to. Become his angel. And you're gonna be cast down with him. Keep going.
Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation.
Now is come salvation. Now we can be saved. You understand? Before there is peace, there must be first what? War. There must be a falling of a nation before salvation comes. You can't have salvation if a nation doesn't fall. Someone has to die. Someone has to be cast down to the earth. We're reading it. It's coming out the Bible. Read it one more time.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven,
Uh-huh.
now is come salvation.
Now is come salvation. Come on.
And strength.
Mm-hmm.
And the kingdom of our God.
And in strength and the kingdom of our power. Keep going.
And the power of his Christ.
And the power of his Savior. Keep going.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Okay.
That's heavy.
Come on now. I've been doing this for a while, but it still trembles. It still trembles. Read it one more time. Read it one more time so they understand who this dragon is. Read it.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
Read it from the top.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ.
And the power of his Christ, our Savior, our Lord, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, or as the world ignorantly calls him, Jesus Christ. This is who we're talking about. Read the next part.
For the accuser.
For the what?
Accuser.
For the what?
Accuser.
The Roman. Read it.
Of our brethren.
The Romans. The oppressors. Your Americans. The British. The Greeks. The Assyrians. The Babylonians. The serpent. That dragon. Of our brethren. Keep going. Keep going.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
Now he's cast down. Keep going.
Which accused them before our God day and night.
You accused Christ, man. You accused him, and then you strung him up on a cross, and you crucified him. You crucified him. And you thought that that was going to save your life. You thought that you was going to be able to kill what God came to sanctify. You thought that you was going to be able to make dirty what God came to clean. To separate, to conjoin what God made holy. You thought you were going to do it because you believe in your death. You believe in your guns and your power and your sword and your cross and your crucifix and your crown of thorns and your spears. You believe in your weapons of warfare while the Lord believes in his might. The Lord believes in his faith, and so do the children of Israel, especially in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Right. We believe in our faith and our service of God. And you thought that you was going to destroy us, man. You thought you was going to intimidate us into worshiping your gods, man. But you're not. And Christ is going to reign on this earth, man. You understand? As he always was. Read that one more time, just for the viewers who didn't hear.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. which accused them before our God day and night.
Which accused them before our God day and night, man. You understand? Now we could keep going, but we over the time.
Okay.
You understand? So we went over a lot, but to answer your question, that dragon is not a dragon, whatever.
Okay.
I don't even know what a dragon really is because I've never seen one before to even say what it is I'm thinking about. You understand? So that is a man. Come on, Nadia.
So can I link that also with Isaiah 14?
Come on.
This is the book of Isaiah 14, chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Oh, Lucifer, come on.
Son of the morning.
How
art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
Yeah. Oh, Lucifer, man, that angel. But that angel shares the spirit of the oppressor, right? And the oppressor, the Lucifer used the oppressor to weaken the nations. Keep going.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
He said in his heart that he would ascend into heaven. You understand? He would ascend unto the throne of the Most High. He would go past the stars and the heavens and be on the same seat that the Lord sits on. Keep going.
I will exalt my throne above the stars, above the stars of God.
Right. So I just said, right? He would exalt his throne. Keep going.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
He also going to sit upon the mountain of the congregation, meaning what? He doesn't only want power. He wants the people to come to him to learn about God. Why? Because he wants to be God. He wants to be on the mount where Moses went on the Mount of Sinai to get the commandments from who? From Yahweh, from the Lord. But he wants to sit on the mount of the congregation. Keep going.
In the sides of the north.
In the sides of the north. Keep going.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
He said, I'll ascend above the heights of the clouds. He's puffed up with pride. You understand? And this is talking about our oppressor and his Satan. You understand? His Lucifer, his spirit, which is Lucifer and Satan, and the snake in the garden and that dragon. He is puffed up. Keep going.
I will be like the Most High.
He said, I will be like the Most High. Keep going.
Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
The Lord said, you're going to be brought down to hell, devil. You're going to be brought down to hell. You're going to live the life that we had to live. You're going to have to work for every crumb that you get. Imagine having to work for a crumb. Imagine. You understand? You're going to have to work for crumbs. The way we have to do it, working for $7.50 an hour, working for $8.25 an hour. And not only do you have to work for crumbs, you got to work to not die. You know how many black men of America watch the way they speak just so they don't have to die? How many black men in America watch the way that they dress? They care about the way that they dress because they care about how they are perceived by the world, because they don't want to look a certain way, because if they look a certain way, you'll kill them. You'll say that that's a thug and a murderer and a drug dealer, and you'll profile them in the stores, and then you'll murder them because you teach them that they're thieves. You know how many black men have to live like that? I tell you what, if you wear cargo shorts and a plaid shirt in the New Kingdom, I'm going to profile you. I'm going to profile you. I'm going to say, you know what? You look like you was one of them devils from back in the day that would call your daddy who got a lawyer. And then we'll see how you like it. We'll see how you like when you have to fight every single day because you're fighting to survive in ghettos. You're fighting to survive in the barrios. You're fighting to survive in the slums. We'll see how you like it. How you deal with poverty. How you deal with extortion. How you deal with lies. We'll see how you could deal with slavery. I tell you what, we already see how they dealt with the market crashing in Wall Street. Yeah. Them windows weren't reinforced enough. They jump up out of them hoes. Keep going.
To the sides of the pit.
Uh-huh.
Verse 16.
To the sides of the pit. Meaning you're gonna be in such a deep place. And like if you ever seen like a pit is so deep, like the pit that this is talking about, the sides of a pit are smooth. Like these pits, once you in it, ain't no stairway out. It ain't no rigid sides where you can climb out. It's a steep, sleek pit. And once you in it, you need someone to throw a rope to get you out. However, we ain't throwing no ropes. So you stuck. You in that pit. Right now, black people are in that pit. And we stuck in this pit. And no one's trying to save us. But one day you will be in that pit. And no one will save you. Keep going.
Verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee.
And in this day, we're going to look upon you narrowly. We're going to see you and we're going to squint our eyes like the Chinese do. We're going to get close like, what is that? Keep going.
And consider thee. Saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble?
We're going to say,
tremble?
We're going to say, is this the man that destroyed your Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Is this the man that was in World War I, World War II? Is this the man that had all them nukes? Like this is the man who was the world superpower, Caesar, Alexander the Great. This is him. Keep going.
That did shake kingdoms.
That you shook kingdoms. You dropped bombs and you shook nations, man. You had all these weaponry, all of these drones, all of this firepower, and you shook nations. You understand? As they stood. Keep going. I think there's places right now, I want to say in Russia, that are still uninhabitable because of bombs that was dropped on them 12 years ago. And because of the radioactivity, you can't go there because you die. Yeah, it's illegal to go there because you die because of the radioactivity. This is what you've done this. Keep going.
Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness.
You made the world as a wilderness, man. What is a wilderness? A wilderness is a landmass that is in lack of civilization. You go into the jungle is land. It has trees, it has oxygen, it has water, it has soil, it has fruit, but it does not have civilization. And even contrary to your belief, you have made the earth to be uncivilized. Even though you believe that you conquered the native Indians and gave them civilization, you made them uncivilized, which is why the native Indians are doing what right now? They getting drunk out of their mind and murdering each other on the reservations. The Mexicans were here and you thought you brought them civilization. What do Mexicans do nowadays? Mexicans get drunk, join cartels, and kill each other. You thought that you brought civilization to black people. What do black people do today? Are we civilized? No. We're not civilized. We're following after you. Then what do we say about New York and New Jersey? It's a concrete what? Jungle. Why? Because jungles don't have civilization. And that's what you caused. You caused the whole earth to be uncivilized. Keep going.
Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof. That opened not the house of his prisoners.
They opened up not the house of his prisoners, man. You understand? And you destroyed those cities. You destroyed the cities thereof. Keep going.
Verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all them, lie in glory. Every one in his own house.
Every one in his own house. All of you heathens, you Australians, you Hawaiians, you Canadians, you Russians, you Ukrainians, you Chinese, you Japanese, you Greenlands, you Islanders. You laid in the kingdom of your own house. Keep going.
Verse 19. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. And as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword.
Meaning what? All people, you are cast out of your grave like the abominable branch. Meaning your branch is going to be cut off. Who you were, what you thought you was growing, what you thought you were building is going to be cut off and removed from this tree. Remove, what they use the tree for? Life. You're going to be removed from life and cut off forever. Keep going.
And go down to the stones of the pit.
And you're going to be down there with the stones in the pit. Meaning what? You heathens that made the ground to shake, that made nations shake, you oppressors, and all of you heathens that thought you was going to grow off the backs of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You are going to find yourself at the bottom of the pit with the stones, man. That's where you're going to be. Is there any more?
As a carcass trodden under feet.
As a carcass trodden under feet, man. Meaning what? Well, how does a carcass get trodden under feet?
Laying on the ground.
And getting stepped on. You understand? You're getting trodden over. You just getting stepped on and stepped on and stepped on and stepped on. As a carcass laying trodden under feet. Any more?
I can go down to 21.
I mean, if I need it.
Verse 20. Thou shalt be joined with them, and thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned.
The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. You understand? You're never going to be replenished on this earth. You'll never be back because of the crimes that you've committed. Keep going.
Verse 21. Prepare slaughter. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Prepare slaughter for his children. Keep going.
For the iniquity of their fathers.
Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, man. What their fathers did to us was unjust. What their mothers and their foremothers and their forefathers did to my ancestors was unjust, and it was not right. So now the Lord is going to prepare slaughter for you, because you have to pay for the debt that your foreparents are owed. You understand? Or that they owe. You have to pay that debt. The same way we have to pay the debt that was owed by our forefathers and our foremothers. And that is life. Keep going.
That they do not rise nor possess the land.
That you do not rise nor possess the land, man. Because like the scripture says, that in on that? Go ahead.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities. That's it. Let's finish it up.
Oh, God.
You're going to make me break down the whole chapter.
Well, I actually had another precept to add on.
All right, come on. Let's get to it, because we way over the time.
Don't come.
Right? But this is what's going to be, be of the oppressor. Go ahead with the other precept.
Come on.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, raise it.
Remember the children of Edom. Edom is Idumea, right? Right, the nation of Esau, which means he is wasted away, or the red man, right? And in that day, they said, raise it during the day of Jerusalem. Meaning what? When we was following our gods, when we was following our power, when we knew who we were, the children of the nation of Israel, the Jews, the children of God, the oppressors in Idumea, Esau, he said, raise it, tear it down, destroy it, which would happen in 75 AD with General Pompey and his son Vespucian, or Titus. I may be getting the names wrong. But they decided to put an end to that, to Jerusalem, man, by mass slaughter, man. They did that. You understand? Which we had to run for our lives because of this. You understand? But just read that one more time.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, raise it.
Hey, who said, raise it, raise it? If I'm not mistaken, it's King David. David saying, remember, O Lord, the children of Israel, Edom, that in the day of Jerusalem said, raise it, meaning to tear it down. Remember them. Keep going.
Even to the foundation thereof.
Even to the foundation thereof, man. Meaning to destroy everything that made a Jew a Jew. Like, not just kill the people. You understand? Like, when America go to war with China, they don't just, you understand, they just kill Chinese people. Or when they bomb Middle Easterns, they just, go over there, shoot a couple people, shoot a couple niggas, throw a couple bombs, blow up a couple buildings. But they don't go and destroy what makes a Middle Eastern a Middle Eastern. They don't go and teach them that they need to take the hijab off or the whatever the hell they wear. They don't tell them to not worship Allah. They just kill them because they're at war. But they destroyed us even to the foundation of what made us who we were. Keep going.
Verse
who we
8.
are. So like it.
O daughter of Babylon.
Oh, daughter of Babylon. And that's what Babylon wanted to do. Babylon wanted to destroy who you were. Babylon didn't want you to come and be who you were. Babylon wanted the melting pot where every religion and every nationality and every ideology melts together into some gay configuration of what they considered a kingdom, which is what America is, which is why America is the daughter of Babylon, because it's some melting of some gay configuration of what they consider a kingdom. Come on. Yeah, that's exactly why they say melting pot. As you come here, where your ideology, your belief, your nation, your childhood, your memories, your culture, and it just melts into some kind of gay love thing. It's just everyone together, and that's gay. You understand? But keep going.
Who ought to be destroyed.
Who ought to be destroyed. All right. Come on.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Meaning you served us by murdering us. You served us by making us pick your cotton, by making us build your skyscrapers, by picking your sugar cane. That's how you served us. That's what you gave us. But happy shall we be to reward you the way that you served us. Keep going.
Verse 9. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone.
Man, when your babies die, I'm going to be happy. We're going to be happy when your babies die. You know why? Because for 400 years, you've been murdering our babies. For 400 years, you've been destroying and killing and hanging and ripping the babies out of all women's guts so that you can have alligator bait. For 400 years, you've been doing that. And so when your babies die, brother, what they say, what goes around comes around, right? Come on. Come on now, y'all. We got to get up out here, man. If you got it, come on. Come on. It's like Macy's. I can't close the store until everybody out. But hurry up. Oh, now you got to have it ready.
I mean, it's
in the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 42.
Okay.
And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
You want to break it down? Come on.
Well, that in the Lord's judgment is going to come around like a circle. What goes around comes around.
Exactly. You got it. You understand? So what goes around comes around. The way you treated my ancestors, you can't be upset with the way the Lord treats you. You understand? And if you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indians, You shouldn't have no problem with that because you all for the glory of God, ain't you? But we just read that in the Bible. So if that's the glory to the Most High, then we should be on the same page. Of course, we're not on the same page because you are a purple pink pussy who does not want to love his brother. So of course we're not on the same page because you're in some purple pussy church. And of course you don't love your brother. And if you don't love your brother, then obviously and for sure that you could never love the Lord. So scriptures like that you could never break down. You probably just skip those, probably never break those down. I heard in that purple pussy camp that they're not even allowed to ask questions in class. That's terrible. That's terrible. You understand? But with that, I'm gonna end the class right there. Actually, I'm gonna pass the class over to Trooper Hawan. You got the security announcements?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass the class over to Trooper Hawan. You got it live. You died? You got it? You got it?
You send it to me?
All right, with that, we're going to end the class. The water for tuning in.